Together to support victims of terror attacks, this time on Belgium's capital, Brussels. Tonight's the Night would like to take a moment of silence to recognize and remember the lives lost that day.
Live from the Nicholson School of Communications, it's Tonight's the Night. With special guest Erik Deckers and musical guest Yo. And now your host, Chris Nielsen.
Thank you, and welcome back to Tonight's the Night. Let's start our show with some news, beginning at the most magical place on Earth. A fire broke out during Animal Kingdom's Festival of the Lion King show, which marks the most exciting thing that can happen at Disney if you're over the age of 12. Britney Spears was accused of using Photoshop after sharing an image of herself in a bikini. Well, I accuse you guys of being over-presumptuous because you can't really think Britney Spears is talented enough to use Photoshop. A new study suggests that people would be healthier if they ate a Japanese diet. I've always thought the same thing. I mean, Godzilla looks really healthy and he only eats Japanese people. Donald Trump is currently looking for a running mate for his campaign when he found out his hairpiece couldn't be considered a viable VP. Well, although it would be a flexible VP. But sometimes it just does what it does, you know, on its own. It's my best Trump. Forgive me. The Zika virus finds its way to Central Florida, which is now the third worst thing you can have as a college student behind student loan debt and a hoverboard you can't use anywhere. You can't use them anywhere. Apparently, a Chinese man staged his own funeral just to see how many people would turn up. However, the illusion was shattered, for most of his friends were threatened on Facebook if they didn't show up, he'd unfriend them. I messed that up, but yeah. He found out. They found out. He's using Facebook. Sarah Palin will host an upcoming courtroom reality show, making Palin the first judge to hand down a verdict of guilty? You betcha. 2 more candidates join the SGA presidency race with the slogan, "Make UCF Great Again," and a proposed plan to build a wall to stop transfer students from coming to UCF. UCF School of Social Work. Oh, is this another UCF story? All right, let's turn this into, we have enough news here to turn it into a whole segment. So I think it's time for our segment, What's Up, Knights? Yeah. UCF School of Social Work hosted a refugee simulation camp. After being asked what she thought of the experience, one student was quoted as saying, "It really, really, really sucked." Thanks for stating the obvious. We got it. UCF soccer player Hadji Barry was recently drafted into the MLS after a very impressive 2015 season. In other news, UCF has a soccer team. UCF SGA has allegedly spent over $60,000 of public money on Gray Robinson lobbyists. In the contract, UCF SGA agrees to pay the sum for the law firm to represent the UCF SGA's interests. Obviously, these interests are for the UCF SGA to live out an episode of House of Cards. It's complicated, politics. It's the joke. UCF students participated in International Red Bull Challenge. I can only assume the challenge is to see who can mix the most Red Bull with things that shouldn't be mixed with Red Bull. All right, everybody. Our special guest, Erik Deckers, will be joining us after the break, so please don't go away.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Hello there, friends, and welcome to our little show. Today we see which one of our competitors will become the characteristic of our new Spry xylitol gown. In the first corner, we'll have the lovely feeling of softness. Wow, now is another feeling of love? The next contender might also be one you recognize. With such bright colors, will Juicy be our winner today? Our final choice could be a crowd favorite for sure. Everyone, I want you to meet Yummy! Just look at him go! Our winner is ready to be announced. Wow! Everyone's a winner! New Spry xylitol gown will be both soft, juicy, and yummy. Isn't it a great day to be alive? Remember to choose Spry xylitol gums, always and forever. Bye now!
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Tonight, we'd like to welcome Erik Deckers to the show.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, our intro at the beginning said Decker instead of Deckers, so I just want to apologize for getting your
no
name
problem.
wrong. So, okay. So you're an author.
Yes.
Yes, so could you tell us a little bit about what you write?
Well, my day job is actually at a content marketing agency. I own a content marketing agency, and we write for other companies, but I've written books on social media and marketing, social media and personal branding, great one for graduating college students. And then content marketing. I've co-authored 4 books that have actually seen the light of day, and then another 2 that they're still on my other author's computer.
Is it true you go into humor writing at all?
Yeah, I have been a newspaper humor columnist for about 20 years, and that's actually the thing I love to do. I just don't get paid for it.
Really?
Yeah, there's no money in humor.
What are some, no money in humor? Oh, well, that's a bummer for us. No, but what are some main points you've learned over the years writing comedy? And I mean, it's got to be difficult sometimes because you're trying to get a message across just via text, just. Sure. So it's, you eliminate that delivery aspect and people have to deliver it themselves. How do you tackle that?
One of the things that I found that really helped was Twitter, just being on Twitter, because I had to learn how to do a setup and a punchline in 140 characters. And that really paid off in my newspaper writing because I've got a word limit of 750 words, and if I can compact everything down, get rid of a lot of needless words, I can get more jokes into the piece.
That's awesome. That makes sense. A lot of people use Twitter for comedy anyway, just strictly for comedy. That's awesome. What's been your most favorite work you've been able to write?
I would have to say my personal branding book. I've talked to a lot of people who they have done some of the things that we talk about in the book, and it's helped them get a new job or change careers or get a raise or become professional speakers or professional authors. And I can't even count the number of people I have heard from where they said, I have been able to do this new thing because of what you said to do.
Is that the most rewarding part of
that
what you
is.
do?
That's that and the royalty checks. My wife just called today and said, hey, we got a check at home. And so that's great. Like
that's
$20.
Clearly a reward. That's good.
But yeah, $20 is $20. But really hearing from people who said this made a difference in my life, that has really helped me continue doing what I'm doing.
Now, do you have anything for advice for young writers that want to be where you are right now? They want to get to they want to get to that spot. Do you have anything that they can do to
write every day? Write something every day. Practice every day. Don't just treat emails and tweets and throwaway stuff as throwaway stuff. Find things that you want to work on and get better at, and use that throwaway stuff as a time to practice. That's a great time to practice. You don't have to wait for inspiration time or special personal writing time. Step 2, don't wait for inspiration. You should, as a professional writer, you should be ready to sit down and start writing, just like if I'm an accountant, if I'm in finance, if I'm in a purchasing agent, if I'm a marketer, I go to work at 8 o'clock and I start working. I don't wait for inspiration to start doing marketing. Real writers sit down and do the work. They don't wait until the tea is just the right temperature and the sun is not in my face at the coffee shop and I forgot my favorite pen. You sit down and do the work and get it done.
Now, is there a good way to overcome writer's block in those situations? Because, of course, you do have to write. Is it more of like a stream of consciousness thing? Or
Yes.
yeah?
If you're one of those people who waits for inspiration, you will easily get blocked. But people who write every day, for me, if I can't think of something to write about, I either just start writing that stream of consciousness. I really should be working on this, and I don't know why it's not coming. I just have to talk about this thing. I wish I could tell you more about this thing, because if I could, I would tell you that, X, Y, Z, and then pretty soon I'm actually doing it. But at the same time, being a professional writer with lots of projects, if I am stuck, I've got something else to work on. And by not thinking about the problem that I've got, working on something else just kind of jars it loose, and 2 hours later, I may have to stop what I'm doing to interrupt it and get back to this project because I just got thunderstruck with the idea.
That's awesome. So writer's block is no excuse. No excuse for it.
I honestly believe there's not such a thing as writer's block. I
Yeah.
just think it's a fear that successful writers who have a first great book or a first great story are worried they can't repeat it a second time, and that blocks them. Or people have too much to say and they don't know where to start. And so it's more like a big funnel that got plugged up, and that stops them. But just not having anything to say, I don't think that's a thing.
That's a good point. That's good advice. Yeah. Now, I would like to switch it over to talk about the Kerouac project that you've been a part of. And can you tell us about what that is and how you got involved?
Sure. That's the Jack Kerouac project. It's actually a house in College Park, and I'm the writer in residence there for the spring of 2016. And what it is, the Kerouac Project is basically a nonprofit organization that bought the house where Jack Kerouac lived in 1957 and 58 while he was writing Dharma Bums, and he was waiting for On the Road to be published. He lived there with his mom, so he's like in his late 20s, early 30s, so, kids, not too bad. Famous author, still doing it. But he lived there and wrote Dharma Bums, and so later, in the late 90s, some people heard that this was the place where Jack Kerouac once lived. They started a group, they bought the house, they fixed it up, and they turned it into a private residence where one writer every 3 months could come in, have the house to themselves, and do any kind of work they needed to get done.
That's awesome. So you're taking inspiration from a place that clearly a great writer has gotten inspiration from.
It turns out I'm the 60th resident, the 60th writer to be in residence there. So for 15 years, they've had somebody.
That's crazy. Have any of the other authors gotten that you've gotten inspiration from them, like the other people that have been able to stay there?
I honestly don't know. I've been real bad about this. I don't know who the other authors are, mostly because I live in the world of humor and like commercial writing. And these are all people who, have serious MFAs and write serious books about serious ideas and serious emotions. I'm the guy making fart jokes on the internet. And so I don't run in the same circles with these people. I've met the previous two writers only because now I actually live in Orlando. We moved to Orlando before my residency ever started, moved from Indianapolis. So I had a chance to meet those two, and they're, we keep in touch on Twitter. But for the most part, I have not been able to get in touch with anybody else.
Did they warn you about stuff that was going to happen in the house, like the water pressure's awful?
No,
they didn't.
No, I asked both of them, is it haunted? I got like visions of, mummified corpse of Jack's mom in a chair somewhere, but it's a small house. I haven't found her.
That'd be good inspiration for a story, though, wouldn't it?
But no, they both assured me it wasn't haunted, and for the first 3 nights, I still jumped at every noise I heard.
Really? I would too. That'd be creepy. You're all alone, right?
Yeah. Well, and I'm just kind of a bit of a sissy about these things.
Now, what's been the hardest or best part about living, best part about living at the house? Because I'm sure for living there that long, you got to have some highs and lows.
What would have been the hardest part we've been able to avoid because I live here in town, and that's being away from my family. I've got 3 kids. They're all a little older, 19, 15, and 13, but still being away from them is kind of hard. So I go in on Sunday nights and come home on Thursday evenings, and then spend the weekend at home. So that would have been worse if we had still been in Indianapolis and moved down. The best thing is I can kind of do what I want when I want, and so I'll stay up until 2 or 3 in the morning working on day job work and also my writing projects, and then sleep in until 9 or 10 and get up and start it all over again. So, you know, my whole clock has shifted now. So the really hard thing is getting up at a reasonable hour to actually do something throughout the day, like go to meetings and things like that.
So the overall experience, would you recommend it to other writers that have the opportunity?
I would. If not the Kerouac House, there are hundreds, if not a few thousand residencies going on around the world. Some are free, where they will maybe not pay me to be there, but I get a stipend for food, and it doesn't cost me anything to go. And there are other residencies where it's more or less somebody has a cabin somewhere, and if you've got $200, you can spend 2 weeks there. And they look at your application and the quality of work you do, but they also make sure your check cleared, and if it did, then you're in.
That's awesome. And the main draw there is to be able to have a space for, you know, writers and
Strictly
creatives
for
to just
work.
be able to just get away and work. That's
Exactly.
very important, because writing, it doesn't going to an office cubicle, that kind of setting is just, that would be
Stifling.
awful. Yeah, it'd be stifling. Yeah. We do have a small one last question for you. You probably heard it before. If you were stranded on a desert island, what would be the one book you would bring? Oh.
Well,
That was. I'm on the edge of my seat now.
I honestly don't know.
You don't know?
You know what? I would take The Complete Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, the big thick book that that our dads all have in their libraries. I'm a big Sherlock Holmes fan, and it's a thick book, and it would take me a while to read.
Yeah, that's good. Now. What's your really quick before we go? What is your next book going to be? Your next work?
It's the one I'm working on now at the Kerouac House. In fact, it was the sample that I used to submit for my application to get in. It's a what-if humor novel. What if Mackinac Island in Michigan, which if you've never been to Michigan and you meet somebody from Michigan, you say, "Where are you from?" They're going to go like this. They're going to hold up their hand, and this is like the national logo for Michigan. And Mackinac Island is up here. And my wife and I used to go visit there when we lived in northern Indiana. And it's close to Canada. And so the idea is, what if Mackinac Island were forced to secede from the United States? What would happen? And so I thought this would be a funny idea to explore. And so that's hopefully the book that I'm going to get finished. If not, I've got another nonfiction book project I'm working on with a friend about baby boomers becoming entrepreneurs and doing their own startups.
Nice. Well, thanks again for being on the show.
Sure, thank you.
Yeah, that was Erik Deckers. Can we give him one more round of applause? Yeah. All right, we'll see you after the break.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
Lake Claire's Universities of Central Florida's place for relaxation, tranquility, and a good time. Students who crave the outdoors can experience the wonders of Lake Claire and all the benefits it has to offer. Lake Claire offers a wide variety of kayaks, wakeboards, canoes, and much, much more. All of this is free for UCF students and can be rented out every day of the year except for on football game days. Students can take advantage of the wide open spaces and throw around a frisbee with your friends, or attack the ball with our sandy volleyball court. Come by the dock, sit down, and enjoy the beautiful view of Lake Claire's clear blue waters. Located just off the side of Gemini Boulevard and Greek Park Drive, this bubble of nature is one you must check out after finals week. For more information and rentals, visit our website so you can enjoy Lake Claire today.
Today, when you have multiple devices at your fingertips, wouldn't it be great if you could run the software you need on all of them? Well, now you can. UCF Apps is a new and innovative way for you to access the applications that you need to get your coursework done from any PC, Mac, tablet, or smartphone. For more information or to give your input on UCF Apps, go to apps.ucf.edu. What are you waiting for? Start using UCF Apps today.
And now, a special performance by The O.
Was it somewhere along the way? Thank you.
Cheer for the O. What's up, guys? That was great. Yeah. Can you tell us where you're performing next and where people can catch you online?
Our next show is actually April 4th at Will's Pub on Mills here in Orlando. We've got a website, theomusic407.com. You can check us out on there. We're on Facebook, Twitter, pretty much everything, so check us out.
Awesome. Now, can you guys play us one more song on the way out?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Thank you to Erik Deckers and the O for joining us today. Next week, we have a special interview with Jay Edwards from Mix 105.1 and a special performance by Noemi. So thank you and good night. Thanks, guys.
Gravity pulls me closer to. Now I'm through. A vision of my future at the window pane. I refrain from the same every time. My reach seems to be tight. Teaching with love. A parting gift from fate right before my ride. A message down the road when it seems to run for a lifetime. I see your face in the distance. A beacon of light when I can't see. In the darkest of times, I see your face. Know that we do, know that we do. It's the darkest time.